Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready for your 73 questions?
Yes, I am.
Great, let's go. Who are you?
I'm Lena and I'm an exchange student at USC.
How old are you?
I'm 22,
And where are you from?
from Austria.
You said you're on exchange at USC. What's your home university?
The Vienna University of Economics and Business
Okay, let's talk a little bit about USC. Where is USC located?
in Los Angeles.
And what do you like most about USC?
I really love the campus. It's such a beautiful campus and you still constantly bump into people even though it's really big. So yeah, the campus definitely.
And what's your major?
So my major here is business, but back home it's rather business and economics, but we don't really call them majors. So yeah, but anyways, here it's business.
And are you specializing in anything?
Yeah, I'm specializing in sustainability.
And what classes are you taking this semester?
I'm taking one film class, it's called film production, then one theater and improvisation class, one business and environmental sustainability class, and one digital business of Hollywood class, yeah.
Do you like them?
I really like them, yeah.
What's your favorite class?
I feel like my film production class because growing up I was always really into filming, but I never had like a proper education, so to say, in filming. So I taught it all to myself. So yeah, I really enjoyed that class.
And have you had any interesting guest speakers?
Yeah, in my one digital business in Hollywood class, we have a lot of guest speakers coming from Netflix, Disney, Amazon Prime Video, and all that kind of stuff. That's really interesting.
And are they similar to your classes back in Europe?
I mean, we had guest speakers back in Europe, but not that well-known guest speakers, I would say. And also, we call our professors mostly by their first names, and that's very different to back home. Like, it's much more formal, I would say. I mean, here it's still formal, but just in a different way.
And tell me, what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about sustainability, politics, and film, yeah.
And so when are you graduating?
I'm graduating in June 2022, so in a couple of months.
How many people study at USC?
About 50,000, it's insane.
And how many libraries are there?
I have no idea, but if I had to guess, like 20, if like study rooms count as well, so yeah.
Where's your favorite place to study on campus?
Somewhere outside, it doesn't really matter where, just like I love studying outside here. It's so green, like as you can see in the back, it's just beautiful studying outside.
So where are we right now?
So we're right in front of the USC Annenberg School, so it's a school of communication and journalism. And on the other side, there's like Mark Taper Hall. It's also, no, I think it's like for economics or language classes. I'm not quite sure. I don't have any classes in these two buildings, but that's where we are.
And what's your favorite place on campus?
To be honest, like where we are right now, I really love sitting right there and just studying or just chilling with friends. That's definitely one of my favorite places. But in general, the campus, like everything is kind of beautiful.
Where's the best place to get food on campus?
So there are a lot of small restaurants, but there's also obviously a cafeteria where you can get food that is a little bit cheaper. So I would say, yeah, the cafeteria is really good for like getting lunch, yeah.
What's the best food you've eaten on campus?
Probably an acai bowl, I love them, or a vegetarian burrito. They're really good.
And do you normally take food with you or do you normally get it on campus?
I try to take food with me as often as possible because obviously it just adds up getting lunch every day. So yeah, 50-50.
If you could pick one song that describes your college experience at USC, what would it be?
It would be Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. I know it sounds so cheesy, but growing up, I always used to watch like Hannah Montana and all these Disney shows, but also, I don't know, Zoe 101. And I kind of always romanticized, or overly romanticized even, these American high schools and college experiences. So yeah, that's why it would be Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, because literally when I arrived, it was like, I hopped out of the plane in LAX, and I was like, okay, that's my exchange semester.
And speaking of the LA lifestyle, have you seen any famous people on campus?
No, honestly I didn't, but just the other day there was Jeff Bezos on campus, somebody said. or at least that was what everyone was talking about. And like one actor from Euphoria, but I haven't seen any of them.
So we've just seen some skateboarders. Is that how people normally get around on campus?
Yeah, there are a lot of skateboarders, but also a lot of people that go by bike or just like me, by foot.
And what about you? You go by foot?
Yeah, mostly because I don't have a skateboard and I don't have a bike, so yeah, I mostly walk. I mean, I walk all the time because, I don't know, I feel like for one semester it's not worth it buying a bike.
And in terms of style, what's the typical outfit?
People are always, like so many people here are wearing USC merch, so like USC sweaters, and then maybe like a pair of jeans or leggings. It's a bit more casual than back home.
And would you say USC fulfills its cliches?
To be honest, I didn't know much about the cliches because the thing is, growing up in Europe, as I said, I had like this romanticized version of like college experience and high school and whatever. So it's not particular for USC, it's more for like US colleges in general. So I didn't know much about USC before I came here or before I applied. But yeah, parts of this, the like cliche of like American college experience is definitely there, but it's much more than that, even though it also sounds cheesy, but yeah.
And what's the USC mascot?
It's a horse. It's like called the Traveler or something like that. So yeah.
And the college colours?
It's red and gold.
Okay, so in terms of some differences between here and home, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being totally like your home university and 1 not at all, how similar is USC to your home university?
About a 5.
Can you name...
Yeah, 5. Sorry.
Yeah. Can you name 3 things that are really big at USC but not a huge thing back home?
Greek life, so sororities, fraternities, and all that kind of stuff. Then college sports, it's so huge here, it's unbelievable. And then really huge tuition fees. That's not a part, yeah.
And in terms of classes, what's the level of difficulty like?
It's all right. I expected it to be harder, but my classes are actually all right, yeah.
Is it easier or harder than back home?
Some parts easier, some parts are harder. So I feel like the exams are a bit easier, at least for my classes. But then you have a lot of assignments, so that might be around the same. Yeah, it depends which class.
And what do you miss most from home?
Public transport.
Okay, so in terms of the application process, why did you apply for USC for your semester abroad?
I applied, so basically first I didn't even want to go to the US. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to, but I wanted to go to Australia. But for obvious reasons that got cancelled, and then I reapplied, but this time I was thinking, okay, I'm not gonna go to the US. And the more I read about USC, the more I was like, okay, I really want to get into this school because it has like such cool classes and like a lot of really well-known people graduated here, and it just has a very good reputation. So yeah, that's why I ended up applying for USC.
And are you happy you ended up here?
Yeah, I'm really glad.
Why is that?
Just my classes and the people I met here. It's just like something so unique. Like obviously a lot of people go on exchange semesters, but still for each person it's definitely a very special experience. And I have dreamed about like doing an exchange semester for so long. Like it was always one of my goals growing up. So yeah.
How early did you have to apply?
I applied in April 2021 and I came here in January 2022.
Do you have any tips for applying?
So it's obviously different when you apply to your home university because I didn't apply to USC directly. I applied like my home university, choose who goes to USC and who doesn't. So I would just like stay true to yourself, try to be a bit unique. I know it sounds dumb, but I feel like if you're just saying, okay, USC is prestige, I want to go there, they won't take you probably. But if you say, I want to go here because, as I said, like growing up, I was always into film and business, but never had the chance to take a film class at like university. So I feel like the story kind of sells, even though I hate saying that, but yeah, just try find something that makes you unique.
What did the application process look like?
I had to submit a letter of motivation and my CV, and then there was application interview with other students who also applied.
Did you apply to any other universities in the US?
Yeah, I applied to, so UC was my first choice, and then I also applied for San Diego State University and to Baruch College. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a college in New York. Yeah, but if I would reapply now, I probably would reapply for other universities, but for USC, of course.
And how many people applied?
Around 30 for 4 spots.
Do you pay your regular student fees from home, or do you pay the USC fees?
No, I pay my regular fees. Yeah, it's crazy how much student fees are here, so I pay the one from back home.
Do you find it's hard to follow as a non-native speaker?
No, not at all.
So let's talk about housing. Do you live on or off campus?
I live off campus.
And why did you choose to live off campus?
So, because if you're an exchange student and are studying at Marshall Business School, so that's like a department of USC, there are different departments. And if you're like at Marshall Business School, then you get placed in one particular housing complex or whatever, and it didn't have a really good reputation. So all the other students who went here before me, that are also from my home university, recommended me this place off campus. So yeah, that was why I chose it.
What's the biggest difference to your housing back home?
So back home, I live by myself, and here I live with 3 other students. But yeah, obviously back home, that's very privileged. But anyways, here you share a room, so that's not something very typical. Back in Europe, I feel like everyone has their own room, like if you're sharing a flat, and yeah, that's different here.
So you mentioned you have roommates?
Yes, I do.
Who are they?
They're also students from my home university, and yeah, they're obviously also here on an exchange.
Did you know them before?
Kind of. I mean, I met them before like a couple of times, but not in a like really close way. Yeah, but now we're really close.
So what's your favorite thing to do on campus?
Let me think. Just either getting a coffee or studying or pretending to study, like doing some stuff on your computer and hanging out with friends. Yeah.
And your favorite things to do off campus?
I like to explore LA. Yeah, and travel around if I have time and a long weekend off.
In terms of socializing, do you like going out?
Yes, I do. I do.
How's going out here differently to back home?
So back home, I'm not that much of a partier because I'm always tired at like 2 a.m. But here, bars and the clubs close at 2 a.m. Like it's required by law. And so I'm like, oh, whoa, it's the perfect time to go home. Whereas it's back home, it's just like, it's 2 a.m. and literally everyone in the club is partying or at the party. So yeah, and also people, the drinking age is like 21. So people here 21 kind of are like 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds back in Europe, which is kind of funny to see because I kind of feel like 16 all over again. So yeah.
Do you find it's easy to connect with people?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, like to get someone really, really good, it's hard, but I think it's hard everywhere. Or not hard, it's just like a process, obviously. But just to talk to people is really easy here. The people here are really open-minded.
What do you like about the students here?
About the student, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, what do you like about the students here? You said they were open-minded.
Sorry. So, yeah. So most of them are really engaged and they're really active and everyone is in clubs and is doing crazy stuff. Obviously it's different here because they pay a lot to go to university and it's like really competitive. But I love that they are engaged and just doing a lot of different things.
Do you find you spend more time with exchange students or full-time students?
Probably a bit more with exchange students, but also a lot with people from the US.
Has anyone visited you from back home?
Yeah, 2 of my really close friends from back home.
And what are some of your favorite memories so far?
My favorite memories are definitely some of the road trips we took and just my everyday life because I just like loving getting into routines and I don't know, it's nothing really in particular, but just my daily life here and road trips and just everything was kind of nice and kind of cool. Yeah.
Would you like to be a full-time student here, or are you happy just on exchange?
So theoretically, I would love to study here like for a longer period of time. But as I said, student fees here are really high. So, and also the cost of living is much higher than back home. So I feel like if somebody would say, okay, yeah, you can study here for free and whatever, I would definitely be in. But yeah, comparing the amount of money I would have to pay, that's just nothing I can afford or want to afford. I mean, yeah, it's not that I want to spend that much money on an education.
So in terms of living in LA, what are two things you love about LA?
I love the weather. It's mostly sunny and yeah, even in the wintertime it's quite hot. And I also like going to the beach, and there's always something to do.
And two things you hate about LA?
Public transport, it's horrible. It really is. And the gap between the rich and the poor, it's insane. I feel like for people here, it's just something they're so used to it. But seeing so many homeless people and then also really, really rich people, it's crazy.
Do you find you leave the USC area very often?
No, I actually don't, because on weekdays, just everything evolves around campus. And I don't have a car, so going somewhere without a car in LA or without paying for an Uber is not really a thing you do if you don't have enough time. So yeah, but on weekends I try to explore as much as possible.
What are three things on your bucket list?
I want to go to Hawaii. Then I want to go to like a big football match or like basketball match. I haven't been to one. And I maybe want to do an internship. I think these are three things.
What are your plans for the next couple of days?
So it's Friday, so we're probably gonna go out. I have to do a bit of uni work, and yeah, but that's the plan for the next couple of days, I guess.
And you mentioned some road trips. What trips have you been on?
I have been to Grand Canyon with my two Austrian friends. Then I've been to San Francisco and the Bay Area, to Sacramento, to San Diego just 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
By the way, when's spring break?
Spring break is literally in 1 week. Like today in 1 week, we're going to spring break.
Any plans?
Yeah, we're gonna go to Tulum, to Mexico.
And what are your plans for after your semester?
I'm maybe gonna do an internship if I find one, and if I don't, then I'm gonna travel a bit, I guess. Yeah.
Have you got any last words?
It was really nice showing you around. By the way, that's the School of Cinematic Arts. I have one class in there. And other than that, it was nice showing you around, as I said. And see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.